Now, let's see. That is, now it's so long I can't remember, but I recognized him. And that old man, I wonder, actually, I don't think these men were so old when they took this picture in today, but they seemed old then.
Okay, so tell me again, which one is your...
My dad.
That's your dad. Okay, and he was I.O.?
I.O.
Okay, and you said you had, one was a pastor?
This was the pastor of the church.
And that was I.O.'s brother?
No.
Who was that?
That was, oh gosh. Oh, but that was a Hanson too, but it wasn't,
Oh, okay.
or Hanson, no.
Okay, not the
And
same
this was a Sortland. There were a lot of Sortlands there.
Sortland? Okay.
And this was his half-brother, Nessie. That was the missionary to China.
Oh, okay.
And his son, they went to boarding school. He had 3 boys. They went to boarding school, and they came to this country on furlough. And they came to our place, and they would always come and just stay, and Art was ready for high school. And so he asked him, now you have a choice. You can either come back to China with him and go to boarding school there, and my dad said he could stay at our place. So he decided he'd rather stay at our place. So he stayed there, and he went to high school with me, and we graduated from high school together.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then he he went to, I think he went to that college down south of Minneapolis. Where his brothers went, and he had 2 older brothers that went there.
Okay.
And one became a doctor, and one was an engineer.
Okay.
And I think they are gone now, and I think Arthur lived just out of Minneapolis, and I have seen him since then, but now I haven't heard from him for quite some time.
And Arthur was who again?
Pardon?
Who was Arthur again?
Well, he lives in town outside.
He was
of
the
Minneapolis.
half-brother? He was a half-brother?
Arthur?
Was he the half-brother?
No.
Who was Arthur again?
Oh, he was, there was a Nessie had 3 boys.
Okay.
Arthur and Gerhard and Henry.
Oh, okay.
And he was the youngest. And Henry was an engineer, and the oldest one was a doctor.
Okay.
And Arthur was, I think maybe he was an engineer too, but
Okay.
they had their education here, and at that college just south of Minneapolis.
St. Augustine's or no?
Rochester?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with it.
I'm getting old. My memory is going.
You know anybody else in the picture?
So do you know any of the other people in the picture? They said that they came and visited the farm in North Dakota. And this picture was taken in the 1930s.
They look familiar, but my names are so. I know this was Sortland.
Okay. Well, it's very interesting. It was so fun to.
Oh,
I'm glad I
yes.
noticed
Get
it this morning and
big
saw.
this picture.
Yeah.
And you know, we're the only ones. There's nobody else
Mm-hmm.
but us.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. She has some cousins.
Of all
And,
these, I think some of the Sortlands, but now there might be some of them living. And when we went to Norway, he went back to Norway, and he was quite an older man. And his wife died,
okay.
and his wife died here, and then he went back to Norway, and he married again to a woman who was about 20 years younger than him.
Okay.
And when we were in Norway, we decided on Sunday what they had in the church that everybody went. And so they said, well, there was going to be some music there in the afternoon. And if we went over, we could hear this music. And so we did. We went over, and it was a man that was singing, and he would be talking and singing, and there were quite a few people there. And then afterwards, there were some young girls, and they introduced us to them, and they were our pastor that we had, his second wife's children.
Okay.
Was his children, then, and with his second wife.
Sure.
And so we visited with them, and that
nice.
was fun.
Do you remember what year ago, or what year did you go back to Norway? How long ago was that again? You went with your daughters Ginny and Susan, and did Julie go with?
When we went to Norway.
Yeah, when they visited Norway, or was that just the daughters? Your daughters that went to Norway not that long ago.
That's just
Seems like-
Susan and,
Was that just Susan and Ginny?
yeah, a couple years ago.
Did they go to Norway with
Yeah,
us?
a few years ago.
Yeah, so I'll have to get in contact maybe with Ginny and see if I can get more
But you've been to Norway.
information.
Wow.
You've been back to Norway?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been-
Where did you go or stay in Norway?
Well, we stayed several places. We decided we were going to, when the older people went back, they always stayed with relatives. But we decided it was Bob and Avis
Okay.
and Harriet and me. And I guess it was just the four of us.
Okay.
And we decided we were gonna find, motel or hotel or whatever they had for us. So we did that pretty much, and sometimes we would look until we found a place, and that was sometimes we'd have to search.
Yeah.
But when we got to Norway, they insisted some of them stayed with them. And we would stay with them.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
Fun.
we had a car, so we could go wherever we wanted.
Okay.
And we even drove around, and Bob had found out that he had some relatives there that he hadn't heard about, but we looked them up and found out about them
Oh,
too.
where were they at?
Well, they were in some other city. They weren't there in Oslo,
Okay.
and but we did find them, and
Oh.
And they were everybody was so hospitable. They would, you know,
Yeah.
you wanted
They were happy to
entertain you.
reconnect.
Yes, they did. So that was real good.
Okay.